will start with public session hearing, and I'm going to turn this over to Mr. who is the chair. Do roll call. Okay. Stephen, do roll call, please.
Evelyn Alvarez, Deborah Aviles, Donde Ambrose, Carolyn Chamorro, Reyes Claudio, Audrey De Naisha Daabi, Edwin Diaz,
Present.
Josephine Fernandez Byrne,
Present.
Brenda Goodwin, Clara, Andres Madrigal, Delorina Morin,
Present.
Argelia Ortiz,
Present.
Marilyn Peña,
Present.
Fred Rosa Pinero,
Present.
Joyce Pulpis, Chair, we have quorum.
Having quorum, we will proceed with the meeting. The next item will be a presentation for the public hearing. Mr. Freddie Perez, who is the chair of the Economic Land Use Committee meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So tonight we'll be hearing a presentation by Douglaston Development, Phipps Houses, and New York City HPD for the proposed development of 110 East 138th Street and 63 Exterior Street, Bronx, New York, 10451, both within the confines of Community Board. Really, after the presentation, we will ask members of the Community Board to ask questions. As per the ULIP guidelines, New York City property to county member of the record. Concerns included in the record can do so by emailing the Community Board, and Mr. Jordan will include it in the file. On completion of the public session, I will ask the chair to commence a roll call. ULAX N260336ZAX N260190ZSX N260191ZCX, known as 110 East 138th Street and 63 Exterior Street, Bronx, New York, 10451. Other presenters available.
The floor is yours. You can start, Mr. Weinstein.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
We need the mic.
Speak louder and bring up the mic.
It might not be working.
Give me the one in your hand.
Okay. Thank you again for the opportunity to have us come and speak today about this very important project, the start of the public review process. I'm just going to speak a little bit about the area and about the importance of this project, and then people from the development project, the director of development. I'm always happy to be here in front of Board 1. I've been attending meetings, particularly of their Housing Land Use Committee, for about 30 years. And so I'm always, we've done a tremendous amount of work, facilitated the housing in this area. I'm always happy to be here. This particular site is, okay. This is located between, you'll see the Harlem River on the left, the Major Deegan Expressway to the east, the Madison Avenue Bridge. No? Okay. Okay, Madison Avenue Bridge to the north, and the Park Avenue Railroad Bridge to the south. You see there the blocks and lots that are involved. Next. Currently occupied by, on the corner of 138th and Exterior Street, or 135th building is vacant, and then the rest it is occupied at the moment, but it'll be the entire site between the two bridges will be the development site. Okay. This is the date that has been in the layout of Deegan. You'll see that most of the buildings are in, I guess it's orange, and in like a yellow is the site for this particular project. Very, very affordable housing to any degree. They are generally market rate. Reason is because they're not using city financing programs to fund their project. They're getting money from banks. They might be using city tax incentive programs or some other type of bonuses, but they're really not using our financing many years, most of the Bronx. This particular project that's being proposed, that's being offered tonight, is going to be 100% income restricted, 100% affordable. Now, they're going to talk to you in a little while about the different levels of what that means, but every one of them is for people below certain specific incomes. And, you know, again, the buildings that are built, it's providing what's needed for people in this community, very low incomes, will be more affordable than what is in those buildings that are already built. Okay, at this point then, I will turn it over to Isaac. Okay. It's a very complicated project. I know we've been in front of you many, many times over the years about different projects. Generally speaking, what we talk about is the disposition of city-owned land, and urban development, of course, it being by the waterfront, is a very complicated project. We recently had sessions, working sessions with city planning staff to make sure that everything that was being done was the best use of the zoning resolution. But they were committee now twice in January and again just last week. So that's why it's taking quite a while. And now being has reviewed all this, and ultimately the building department has to approve everything as well. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Isaac.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Isaac Pugh. I'm with Douglas Development. And to start, I just want to give a little bit of background on our development. is made up of Phipps Houses and Douglas Development. Phipps is the oldest and largest not-for-profit developer, owner, and manager of affordable housing in New York City. 2008 affiliates, and we think this is a big strength because we can get input from these groups from the very earliest stages of planning. Another strength of our team is we have demonstrated of developing challenging sites, and in Community Board 1 specifically, our team is very familiar with the area. 8 projects, community 50 projects located, and moving on to a brief overview of our project. The project will be 2 buildings and will total approximately 537 affordable housing units. Building 1 is a 13-story building with approximately 100 of the range of low-income housing tax credits, investments. Focusing in on building 1, this is our 180-unit affordable housing building that is designed specifically for seniors. This building will be 12 stories, including a waterfront level, and we'll have just under, we want to make sure it's as responsive as possible to the needs of the community and community board. So we are very open and would love feedback on what types of programming and what types of retail spaces, and as the space will help create an intergenerational community between a 20. Building 2 is our approximately 350 unit family building. It will be 26 stories and waterfront level. And like the retail space in building 1, we would love to hear from the community on what sort of programming you all would like to see here. We want to be as responsive as possible to the needs of the community and to what our residents need as well. And as well. To show a rendering of our shared lobby here, one of the highlights of the shared lobby moving on to a part of the project we're really excited about, which is the publicly accessible open space, which but to the public. So I want to walk through a couple of these amenities here. We have a dog run on the northern end of the site, and then or southern end of the site, excuse me. And then moving up north, we have a playground that can be used by families in the community and in our building. So you can, another aspect of this open space is the shared signage here. Here's a rendering of the shore public walkway. This is on the more northern end of the site, just behind our shared lobby. You can see some of the aspects of the shore public walkway here, like the seating. We have plenty of seating area. We also there in the inlet there. We're hoping that that's going to increase biodiversity in the area, 1,000 square feet of plantings. It'll be a mixture of native flood resilient plants, and we'll also have 150 trees planted throughout the walkway. Now here's a zoomed out view of the short public walkway and our buildings from the Manhattan side of the river. As you can see, I think this really illustrates all the public space states. Evening, staff. Stop praying. The bells? Is that your bell?
No, you can't do that.
You just bumped me, Anthony? Okay. I did want to also introduce the other members of our team. Listen, we're also joined by Liz Oakley, who's Chief Development Officer, Douglas of Practice, and also from Phipps, we have Nina Vinulay, who is our project manager. So one of the things we want to show you, we showed you in the experience will be. On this diagram, you can see the ground floor of both building number one, as Isaac said, so having space for seniors, and you can see residents enter through the lobby, and then there is space in there for packages, secure packages are important, but also social student office on the left. And then in building number two, in the white space, Isaac talked about the fitness room, package room, community facility, and about the health of the build house standards. And passive house is really important as you think about utility costs, air quality inside of the building is good, making sure that the building materials are responsible building materials. And so we're very excited about that. And then looking at renewable energy sources on rooftop areas, we will have solar panels to help bring in energy, generate energy, and then we're also going to excitedly use geothermal for heating the building system, and so it's a process going deep underground to draw a natural heat and cooling through a heat exchange process right from the earth. Isaac talked about a lot of all the floodwaters that are protected. Who know this site, and it's many of us in the room know that there are traffic conditions in this area that might make it seem difficult and challenging to get to the building, which they are. And so we've been working very closely with confining to their image, protected bike lanes going east and west, giving you access to the Madison Avenue Bridge, and then east in the Bronx. Widening, the sidewalk, making sure that there's a pedestrian median. So especially as we think about seniors having
a stopover. Sometimes an extra space where you can stop is going to come. Pedestrian median crossing north and south, where is making protected space throughout the area. You know, there are going to be a lot of improvements from what's happening right now on the site. You know, including a widening of the pedestrians, what you see there today, a planted buffer zone and everything that we're doing. As I've talked about, access to the building entrance, there's a walk, and you saw in some of the images both a ramp and stairs. And then a shared street and access to the shore public walkway. We're very excited about the shared street, even though there's going to be the shore public walkway that will be accessible to the public 24/7, for pedestrians moving along, so that people can get down there safely and have a nice experience. Access to talk in the room, the east, a nice space that will be dedicated for bikes that will connect upward to the greenway. You can see about a dismount zone, the entrance to the lobby. We want to make sure that as families, as cyclists have to step off of them for that matter. You know, there's also, as this points out, a loading zone. So this is an interesting spot, you know, building it on. This is a space that's off the street where they can safely do that, get in and out, you know, as they need to. It's also right in, we talked about that bike dismount area. It's in that area, so that there's ease of access for those who need to use it. Around the development, pedestrian waste pickup as well. But thank you. The way that waste is being handled by, it will be the outdoor canal waste isn't spilling out on the street, but it's a clean operation. One of the things that we've talked about a lot over the years is thinking about seniors and providing access for seniors to other other parts of the good. Some buildings 2 years behind for an on-site superintendent, so that any issue can be addressed in real time, and they have access. to building just my 50% aim, I just pulled. Work they have in a lot of our we want to work on the job, have it doing it, but also thinking about working directly with members of the community. So certainly more. Project committee meeting with community board was 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, November 10th. Just to introduce the project, the concept. Many things have gone on. With the council member previously, the council member updates. And then one of the things that our partners at HPD said we should put together a community advisory group. And so we did, and the community advisory group started being 2 years ago, included South Bronx had the presentation to look at things as a community, a lot of time talking with members and going in different places. We were encouraged to go speak with seniors. We're trying to build senior housing center, Betances, and so we continue to go anywhere anyone asked us to do. And so really robust community engagement over the last 4.5, close to 5 years. And then committing multiple site tours and has been very engaged. A splash on Euler. We are currently in the community board review period, and you can see the rest of it. My time is up, and thank you very much.
At this time, the board will open up the public session to the community. We have a list.
The community, when your name is called, you have to line up in the middle aisle when your name is out, or your questions.
Thank you.
Are we ready for me? Line up one at a time. Okay. This is how we're going to put the middle. Yeah. Brianna Brown. Jane, Chris, Luis Melendez, Melissa Bosley, Shore and Chanel Monroe, Herman Francis. Yes.
So keep it brief. Thank you. I'm Angel Garcia, in District 1. I am also a resident in District 1, and living in the John Adams, the income level, average income level for community board developer includes these outside of beyond the living. That's, I think, the fundamental flaw. Nice that you thought about community engagement. Nice that you thought about waterfront, although it seems to me that a real engagement with the people in South Bronx United workable and truly usable and consumer-friendly, community-friendly waterfront would have gone, pretty far in at least satisfying the waterfront access. Putting it near the Deegan and the bridge, it just seems to me you're talking about.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian LaFontaine, born and raised here in Haven houses. And I think this previous person mentioned, Angel, if there is a big area median income problem, the AMI is 30 to 80 to really great income. It's a very disparaging cost to really be living in these projects. And for are too high around this community, really affordable to commute spaces that they're going to be having for studios, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, with a lot of people in this community living with their grandparents, living with their mothers, living with their siblings. I personally live with my siblings. I live with my mother and grandmother. It is a huge thing to acknowledge that there needs to be more spaces for people that live in a bigger family. Even when we want to acknowledge that to long-term.
Thank you. My name is various arch-related capacities for over 35 years. As one, today I am make sure that it's understood that having served on an advisory committee is not an endorsement of a project. Since we are the community of Cedar Street, the development and living is a 10 of 59 community districts. With overcrowded apartments. Our community is composed of traditional nuclear freedom of families. So we certainly do not want or need luxury rentals are designed for smaller affluent family indoors. We also agree for a right to gain access to the waterfront set aside that is being treated by existing development waters to enjoy it. I'll finish with this. Community is currently under siege by To see this transformation in real time, all you have to do is walk or drive through the community to experience the dramatic change. If you look at it from the air or bird's eye view, it becomes even more evident the museum will be in the future. If we have any military aficionados here or veterans with us tonight, you'll know this as the pincer move, which is a strategic tactic where forces simultaneously or the proposed adjacent to hard and aggressive gentrification. And I'll submit my statement.
Good evening. My name is Kenny Abreu. I am the president of the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, and good to see you. Good to see everyone. So my question, this is a very impressive project, and we work along with the MWB community. We're a partner of the city and the state of New York in advancing the MWB goals. What are your MWB goals, and also what are your local hiring goals? And how are you planning to attain that?
You want to answer?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We expect to have a 25% HPD buildup and WB the entire project. And then I know that we'll have local hiring requirements as well. And as mentioned in the presentation, we do extensive job fairs and outreach. So we're at goals.
Project. We want to make sure that that 30% goal is achieved, if not higher than that. And we'll be happy to work with you on that. To make
If you don't mind giving us the note for the requirement afterwards, we can definitely look into that. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Louis. I live in saying about the people living in homes. They will be able to live here. I don't know how many of you had a hand in big concern or wildlife, pedestrian more.
Hi, good evening. My name is Heaven Torres. I live in the South Bronx and I am a member of South Bronx Unite and a member of the Community Land Stewards. I respectfully urge Bronx Community Board 1 to disapprove of this proposed development at Exterior Street and East 138th Street. This proposal does not reflect the needs
of the people community over crowding housing and the increased cost of everyday life. The rents being proposed are simply not affordable for many of the people who live here. As a single parent of 4 children, I know how difficult it is to make ends meet. My income has to cover rent, groceries, transportation, clothing, school supplies, childcare, and all the other necessities that come with raising a family. If I wouldn't be able to afford these apartments, I'm confident many of the families in these neighborhoods, the people who already live here, not for people who can afford to replace us. We are not replaceable. We are not going nowhere. And we care about this community and we care about each other, and we deserve to live in affordable housing that is nice. Just and more how affordable generation will reflect the reality of how our community lives does not solve the housing crisis we are facing. I believe that if we cannot get affordable, but this proposal doesn't feel like it's created with our neighborhood in mind. This space should be some, if things like green spaces, gardens, playgrounds, cultural and art programs, environmental education spaces, youth and senior programs, and so these community ownerships and long-term investment in the people who are already here, not projects that risk pushing us further out.
Melissa Boss. I want to start this off by saying that this project looks and it sounds great, but there is a mistrust. The South Bronx, particularly Whitehaven and Port Morris, is rapidly changing. We are continuing to witness luxury apartments flooding our waterfront, and we are left with asking ourselves how and who these projects ultimately help. I want to reiterate that mistrust we have. I really do appreciate how they set up the visual to show the map of all this development that is happening. And the affordability, it may be more affordable compared to those buildings, but it's not affordable to most people that lack streets. Grew up as a child, once called home that I literally cannot come back. Members in the making, can you imagine? And that this is a space that was imagined by the community that we want to address for more green spaces. It was said earlier, developments on disapproves this project. Thank you.
And we would love to propose to you one of our wonderful ideas. Hold on. Yes.
Everyone, Matt Haven, and I'm a member of South Bronx. What many of my group have said, we are rejected as it does not meet the needs of this community. I want to talk about area of 20, 30 things. How the rent is, and this neighborhood here also has a poverty rate of 42.6, which is extremely high compared to 18 district. One area has, like I said, 23% AMI, yet the majority of these apartments, including the senior units, are targets of security benefits that are decreasing year on year, are not incredible, astronomical rising costs of food, utilities, and affordable for how long. So finally, all these developments, again, are not being large, overpriced developments that will citizens who already live here. So thank you for your time.
Okay, good evening. My name is Matthew Shore, and I'm the director of Bronx United to advance community informed plans for digging standards. What is clean air for all, a publicly accessible waterfront center project are truly affordable housing. We believe and we will not receive this development. I look forward to that being on the public record. So I also want to mention what Eddie Pagan mentioned earlier. Involvement in a advisory committee does not equate to an endorsement. And so we disapprove for the following reasons that were mentioned already, but on existing residents in the neighborhood. This community district area median includes AM4 out of all 59 community districts for severe rent burden, meaning when residents pay. And of course, Grand Concourse has seen an influx of housing development just down the street from this one that is not affordable for residents living in the neighborhood. These are like lease. This is not multi-generational home. The waterfront. This would be the first waterfront development in the Bronx for precedent that has been advancing community-led waterfront designs and solutions for it not. So I urge you to disapprove. Thank you for the opportunity.
Passed open up in 1950. Why is that? They want to stay into Hunts Point. And as soon as the word affordable came up, somebody, female, and choked up. And the question, if you raise up affordable for whom? Number for the rent, sharecropping. Most I pay, you know, run an insurance company. This way, right then and there, you got equity will be passed on, which eliminates homelessness. Because it's only in the municipalities, and keep in mind what a municipality is. County, city, town, and village, which the federal government has set up. Most of the cities have got out public housing. If you don't believe that, look at the sitcom Good Time. As the mess they went through, well, it's going on today. So I strongly suggest you take a good look at this particular piece of real estate and consider the co-op. In the city, there's no rentals. If you
Thank you, everyone who spoke. At this moment, I would like to open.
Councilmember Justin Sanchez, it is all of you to this. I grew up with my grandmother. I grew up in houses that had multiple people in them. The majority of the senior housing are studios. I have those in my district. My seniors could barely cook on this saying reflects the actual truth. First of all, gentrification doesn't only happen because people get to actually call our own and really live in and build our families in. We just have to give it up to the next generation. You can hear, while the project may be made in good faith, it is not ready for prime time, it is not ready for our communities, and I want to be frank, the fight doesn't stop here, because how many times have the community board gotten together, they voted on something you vote no, and it passes anyway? Well, there's a different person on the city council. Not only do the developers have to go through the community board, but they have to go through the land use, and I will make sure my colleagues know what we're saying here tonight.
Thank you. Now, board members only.
Wow. He just took everything out of what I was saying. Another way that's not viable to our community. Doesn't make sense. What you did, board member.
Hi, I'm Deborah Aviles, board member, as well as a community member in the South Bronx and also a part of many different organizations. And so again, the AMI does not meet our needs. We have people here and we don't want to leave. And so when new buildings like this come in, you push us out. So why don't you go back, look at those numbers and think about the community that can also be a part of you guys. Make a legacy that you can create here with us. And I really like what Mr. Francis said. Think about co-oping. We want to own. We're tired. We work 3 and 4 jobs just to pay our rent. And it's unfair. And we do want to live in something beautiful, but we also want to own. So yeah, I will be against it as well.
Everybody, I just want to share, my name is Amanda, and I am the chair of the Youth Education and Young Adults. I sit on this board as a stakeholder of this community who has worked in this community for a long time. And I used to live in Villa. And I was pushed out of this community because I have a really good salary, that make a really good salary, and I can make this is not affordable for our people. This is not even affordable for me. When I so prioritize the city and want to pay less than Manhattan, and that's not okay. That's not okay. Thank you.
Requested an emergency audit back in 2024, both based on HUD and tenants' reports of outstanding violations and serious mismanagement by FIPS. So these are senior housings, and we're bringing in families. Can you see this? I think that's, and I'm a community board member.
Emergency audit from 2024.
If the community board requested that from HUD, you ask for HUD, for the audit. That's
This project, what she's asking.
no, that's not related to this project. That's a separate project. Yeah, it's a separate request was from HUD to do an audit. You'd have to ask HUD for that. I don't have that. Understood, but we would need somebody else to do the audit, an audit that they would do of us. In terms of Community Board 6 and some of the things, Community Board 6, didn't ask a lot of questions. You know, their letter, if you've read their letter, is full of inaccuracies. So, you know, happy to, they talk about mismanagement. I'm happy to take you on a tour, anybody on it, if we mismanage them. We don't. And so, hold on, let me just finish answering your question. So from member for a long period of time, and we have, you know, successfully managed them for many years. And in instances like some of the developments that you're talking about, older buildings, we have built new buildings so that we can give our existing tenants better apartments and better buildings. And so we've been able to relocate, you know, an project that's 50 years old, some aging in your apartment, it's going to get harder and harder to giving our tenants a new building with an elevator so they don't have to walk up to the 5th floor any longer.
Thank you. Will the Development Board, I have a copy of the letter here requesting the emergency audit, and it is also to Adam Weinstein, President and CEO of FIP House.
Yeah.
And there are serious concerns, 9 out of 100, to when looking at FIP's performance in terms of management. I think these are important things to address, especially when we're working with our seniors to the median income questions, which is really important. There's also management, and FIPS does not have a good report card here. And of course, FIPS was asked to audit themselves, but they were asked to be involved for that audit, provide the information needed. So thank you for, I appreciate you answering my question. These are important things for us to consider in terms of management. Thank you.
Look, if any agency audits us, we're certainly going to participate. In terms of the, it's getting hot in here, I guess.
Any other
Fire Safety Director.
I have some questions. They're saying what the breakdown is and what impacts that breakdown. That is
Sort of what it is, so we can.
But application made but
Chrissy, yeah. So you're asking a breakdown, you know, of a breakdown of the AMIs because
whatever makes that. Now the number breakdown is so important, and I'm happy to see that the formerly homeless is there. Like if you guys are going to take city, that's because of that nature. But that is important in regards to cost. I can ask Ted as well. Meaning, what is needed in order to ensure there are more units in solidarity with my neighbors that this
H1 building affordability. We tend to build towards the maximum of those working with the programs that HPD has in place. So none of them are going to be at the minimum. We push towards the higher end. And there's a range for each, whether it's a studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or 3 bedroom.
Going forward, we will strictly enforce, please keep your answers and your questions within the 3-minute time period, because we have to move forward to the general board meeting. Thank you.
My name is Ms. Goodwin. I would like to see that what I'm saying. I think we need to revisit this issue.
Sure.
What we said is not.
You know, I think engagement is important, which is why we started in 2021, as we pointed out before and have had more get input. Is on going through that process. So we don't have the ability to stop the process.
Okay, you may not have the ability to stop the process. But you do have the ability to work with the community on any process.
Which we have been. And will continue.
and with the community, you can filter and filter when we know it's not acceptable. It's like going to a doctor, if you're not treating, you don't know. And treating a community with something that they're telling you is
Why we've had lots of conversations. We hear.
My name is Gandhi, the chair of the Municipal Services. I think I hear what our concern is. We do need a place to stay. That's the truth. Is it possible? You can take down these and go back and revisit the issue. One concern that we always have on this board is AMI. What is it? Now, is it possible we as a community, because we have a tendency sometimes to shoot on the wrong side of it, to have that AMI come from South Bronx, from Bronx. I think Westchester County is part of contribute to this AMI. On the right hand is up there. We show our elected official to see if that AMI can be calculated from the Bronx. At least we can fit it, because from what I see is that they use that. But my question to you, is it possible that you guys can go below that? Is it a choice?
What happened in the finance to help you, and so it's not just a question that we can, but also you have to make leaving. We're going to manage the project, and so we will be there, and so it's got to operate and generate revenue to operate. Liz, did you want to add something?
May I have a moment? See, the work for
1 second.
Depends on who's saying. The guy that made $100,000.
Yeah.
Ability to the revision must say to it, we will somehow be able to meet the state.
It's right that the AMI is set at the federal level. So the elected officials that would be involved in setting the electrical area to your page with AMI and rents in this project are talked about. We're really excited to include those lower levels. Thank you.
Affordability units, no community informed waterfront design. And so if South Bronx Unite, who has been leading on this issue for with the product that we're seeing here, launching within the project. We're going to a meeting that say approval of the May 2026 full board minutes and the June, accept those, please. Someone from the board? Anyone? Any discussion? Aye. And Audrey abstains. Loud round.
Good evening, community board members. My name is Brandon. I am a program coordinator actor. I have one of my youth advocates here at Link. Kids based in poverty, foster care, involvement in the juvenile justice system, and other systematic challenges through mentorship and youth development. As prevention program, I have had the privilege of consistently interacting with our girls who live in the South Bronx. Through these experiences, I have witnessed how big their dreams are, despite the lack of resources and support available within their feeling of Girl Vow youth. As a result, Girl Vow staff alongside our youth advisory board has come together as a collective to create change that our girls can not only see within their communities, but actively be a part of further developing the community resources. Their feedback has led us here today asking for your approval to utilize the Lincoln Hospital space for the hope of hosting a community resource fair. If awarded this space, Girl Vow would utilize it to host our youth-led community resource fair, organized a moment focused on sexual violence prevention, education, empowerment, and connection. The space would provide a safe, welcoming, and accessible together to engage 20 organizations that provide service-related opportunities and resources for the community. Hosting this event at Lincoln Hospital would be especially meaningful to us because it is an institution within the community we serve and a place where many of our youth and families already seek care and support and community engagement. It would also reinforce our vision of creating safe, accessible, feel seen, heard, and empowered to lead conversation. Hospital, we can strengthen partnerships, increase awareness and build a healthier, more connected at South Bronx. Thank you for your consideration.
I'd like to ask our Councilman Justin Sanchez to say a few words.
Please reach out to our office. We're located right now on 416 Walton, so literally 5 blocks that way. And also, I have the way that the district actually allocates money, and I am proud to say that I've allocated 10,000. Actually, anything you like to do. I have basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments. I have family days, cookouts, street closures, and if any of your organizations want to partner with our office, please just reach out. I truly look at our office as an organizing partner for any of your fights. Come to us. We are in partnership with you and organize your message and do everything that we need to do. Also, if your kids are looking for internships, we are accepting as many as to do, making money and getting off of the streets and actual into community service and work. So you can text me directly, and yes, I always have it on me. It sleeps next to me. It is 929-819-6570. See how I know that off the top of my head? I'm giving it up. 929-819-6570. Or anything, please text me. The reason why folks don't do things in our community, use 311. Also, I have a new bill coming. That's a lot of the times you don't actually follow any 311 issues. Well, I have a new bill called the CCCC, where you can CC your city council member. So when you put in your 311 complaint, you can also check a box that says, I want to also tell my council member I made this complaint. And then we will get a copy of the complaint, and then we can help you to interact with you. Anthony will be here for the rest of the time. I have to run to another event. But thank you all so much. Keep on the fight. I'm going to fight everything with you.
Thank you so much. Speaker, you have
Oh, 40, sorry. Okay, hello, everyone. Good evening. I know everyone's trying to wrap it up. Can you hear me? Yes. All right. My name is Ms. Chanel Monroe. I'm a provider liaison with the Department of Health Fairly Connect. We have an initiative that allows us to connect with different healthcare providers and on the use of a coordinated intake referral system to have just have a total rate of infant and maternal mortality rate are impacting many families around the city and throughout. And this is very important for us to community to offer this support and connect with different organizations that would benefit community services of respected families and parents who would benefit for this for free. So and we connect you with service provider, like family care worker,
That was 610 line to the 40 East 138th Street, right to the full.
Can someone please make a motion to accept the renewal or application of license? Discussion on the motion. Say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. Planning.
I'm Amanda Perez, I'm the chair of Youth Education and Young Adults. And at our last committee, the Third Avenue bid came to discuss a potential partnership with our committee. And so we had proposal request community planning for the upcoming 2026, 2027 degree outside the economic development committee. Correct? Yeah. Yes. And so one of the proposals, and I think in the bid, like to have 2,000 plus more kids, and the bus stops that we have, and the double parked cars, and so we would love to bring a fellow here board to propose this project alongside the Third Avenue bid.
Can someone make a motion to accept the fund for the City of New York Community?
I make the motion to, to approve this project. Thank you. And just-
Anyone against? Abstain? The motion. Motion.
Public session. And the New York City team from HPD. It's now time to request that at this time for a roll, yeah. I'm gonna have to read. Yeah. So I'm now going to ask the chief, N260195 ZAX, N260190ZSX, N26019019X.
Stephen will make the roll.
Deborah Vilas, how do you vote for the yellow?
Deborah.
Gandhi Ambrose, how do you vote?
Yes, with the recommendation of. Sorry,
Robert Barnes, how do you vote? Audrey De Jesus, how do you vote?
No.
Abstain. Josephine Fernandez Burton, how do you vote?
Yes.
Vote. Delaney Moore, how do you vote?
Can I say, I know I can say no, but that's good. Oh.
Thank you. Marion Payne, how do you vote? Freddie Perez Jr., how do you vote?
Yes.
Amanda Perez, how do you vote?
No.
And how do you vote?
No.
We haven't done it yet. That's it.
Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen, with 11 noes, 3 abstentions, and 2 yes, the motion fails, and it will be forwarded to the Bronx Borough President's Office for review. Thank you.
An extension is a no, correct? Okay. I'll make a notation. Thank you.
Safety report, the 40th precinct, and PSA 7. You can come.
You have to like reach.
Yeah, that's fine. Testing. Is it up? Testing. 7 minutes?
7 minutes.
Yeah, I don't wanna go over. I know people gotta go places.
Good evening. I'll get right to it. All right, so let's go over the statistics here. I'm gonna come down on the 28-day period, just give you an overview. For the index crimes overall, we're down 21.3%. We're looking like we have an increase in felony assaults, and I'll get to that in a second. So, looks like we're down 27% in robberies. I'll skip felony assault for a second. Burglary, 25 versus 39. We're down 14, which is up. Larcenies, GLAs, we're also down by 3, which is looking at 13%, 20 versus 23. What does these numbers mean? I'm going to jump right into where we're up. We're up in felony 91, 2026 versus it's up too many. So I look at we look at the DV. We're looking at those 91 domestic violence. Domestic violence related felony assaults account for 37 out of those shooting, which 3 people got shot, which were 140. It happened on the Monday, June 8th. It's a gang-related type of thing. Overall, we're down by 21.3%. Any questions?
May I?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
I just became a proud owner of a business. My grand opening was on the weekend, so that's on 100. And
134th Street and St. Anne's Avenue, the last meeting. But we had a presentation with DOT that they're gonna enforce him with the tire inside that he never moves the trucks. That's an issue for me. I almost got hit by a bike because it's blocking, the bike lanes too in front of my business.
Listen, we take this complete very seriously. I'm gonna hand it over to the Q team sergeant. This is one of the things we have.
That way, and what you're talking about, we can always say, hey, we use these.
It's all on my video camera.
I got you. Regards to operation, we just did a joint operation with DSY, DOT, and ourselves, and we 50 cars, and
so we can immediately do call 301. We're looking at like, I'll give you a brief quickly. So we have a total of 1,565 calls. Call 301 about a noise residential issue, refer you to manage. Because the police can go knock on somebody's door. That's just putting it out there. The second most caused noise residential. So we're trying to work with with what we have. When we go there to those calls, it's more of a matter. Any other questions?
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Yes, well,
I, around the corner, we have a few SROs. I believe that they're like single men SROs. And we're good neighbors. And a lot of people struggling with mental health issues. We had somebody breaking sticks, throwing bricks. I work with a lot of children, a lot of families with children on the spectrum, where I tell me the way.
Now, but my thing is, I want you guys to understand, we try to get there, but we can't jump over cars. I'm sorry, like Brook Avenue, all the way to the highway, it's a lot of traffic.
You didn't let me finish my question.
Go ahead.
My question is not recent or the new South Bronx, right? Unit, are we going to be getting projects? Will we be getting calls from like patrol from there rather than from the 40th precinct?
I want you to understand it like this, right? The services now more concentrated. As far as the Bronx South Command, now which ideally we address the.
Anybody from PSA 7?
Yeah, they're here.
Oh, they're here, where?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. They had to take off. Sorry. But if you guys have any questions, I mean, at the end of the day, the 4th precinct, we can relay the information. Any questions? No?
Do we have anyone from the mayor? Yes, thank you.
Very pleasant.
Bronx Borough Lead of the Mayor's Office of Mass Engagement. I want to start off by saying the Mayor and Comptroller Mark Levine have invested $20 million in Pulse Bank, which increases the bank's lending capacity and helps Bronx residents buy homes, start home businesses, and build long-term financial stability and helping New Yorkers build the financial capital. The rent guideline board hearings also concluded tonight. The rent guideline board voted to freeze the rents, which means that for 2 million New Yorkers with rent stabilized tenants, the rent will not be increased for the year, and something they did this year and before. And the freeze will take effect in October. The summer is here, as you all are well aware. Make sure you're aware of all the cooling centers. The city has created a new map. Just search for cool options NYC as a map. And there's also a unique interactive map, which is aimed at young people, but anyone at young at heart, really, which has free activities throughout the city, as well as volunteer opportunities and internship. The city has also started the Commission of Government Efficiency, which is having hearings throughout all 5 boroughs, which is our public hearings. The one in Bronx is on July 1st, and how they think government can be more efficient, basically, and that will all be taken into consideration and sort of rework things and just cut out a lot of the middle management that's happened over the years. Finally, if anybody is a World Cup fan, you may be aware of the $26 meal deal. Rosas and Parks New Cup, kind of summer soccer, am I right?
Thank you. I'll speak, step over to the left by the, okay. It's not a race. Okay.
There you go. Where? Like a very comprehensive report, but it's also because it's the last meeting of the year. So thank you, Madam Chair, Mr. Dion. Good. On behalf of the Bronx Borough resident service, the CP as well as new applications that is completed. We're in the middle of reviewing and we're doing a thorough review, which will be notified by email once decisions have been made, and we'll receive a letter indicating whether they have been appointed to serve or they will be thanked for their service. Any applications that will be held in consideration, that should be done right after the fiscal year. We will be having a community board's appreciation. We recognize June as Gun Violence Awareness Month. To ourselves, all Bronx residents, to wear orange throughout the month of civil solidarity, and are sharing everyone that the Bronx Borough President launched the first Lights Out initiative, a partnership with New York City Department of Transportation. Thank you, Mayor Manani, to help identify and report malfunction